Welcome back. In this video tutorial, we'll be talking about time. More specifically, availabilities and time off. Whether you're a provider trying to get additional hours, a organization, admin, or office staff trying to organize your clinic, or more importantly, a therapist who simply just wants their hours to be transparent and visible when scheduling, this is the type of tool for you. Now, we don't have to actually go anywhere to locate this. We can actually click on View Availabilities from here. But nothing seems to really change. The calendar looks the same. The button's changed. That's because the availability view is pretty much the same thing as your calendar view, where you can create, update, drag around, and expand schedulable events, similar to what you do on the calendar. So let's click on New Availability. So if I click on Availability at the top here, we can begin to create our first availability in the background. So this is going to be for office hours. It's going to affect our virtual location only. It's going to affect all of our healthcare services. It's going to be for me alone. Description and color are optional fields, and we'll review these in a little bit further. But color, I recommend something that has a high contrast ratio to white. On the calendar, you'll see in a minute, but this color is going to be faded out. So it looks something like the background events in the calendar currently. So it'll be behind your time slots, so try to pick something with a strong contrast ratio to white, something that stands out. So in this case, we're going to put sort of like a darker orange color like this. And you'll see how this displays in just a minute. Availability duration is a different way than what you're commonly used to creating availabilities for, because we offer a large variety of different controls for how often and how long an availability happens for. So because we're doing something simple, we're just going to put in 9 to 5 p.m. for our office hours. This is when it starts and ends. Now, we need to indicate how often it repeats for. So for our office hours, we're actually going to say daily, because this is going to happen every single day, from today until, and I can click on the date here to change it to the month view, until about 2 years or so. If you want to change it so this event happens once per week, click on weekly. Once bi-weekly, click on bi-weekly. When you're ready, click on create. And you'll notice in our calendar, that burnt orange color appears in the background of our events, and it displays our availability. So you can see how the background is kind of yellow. That's just because it indicates the today's date. But if I navigate to tomorrow, the white color and this burnt orange color have a good contrast ratio between the two of them, and I can see very clearly where my office availability and office time is. What you want to do is you want to pick a color that doesn't blend in too much to the background, so you can see all of the availabilities at one time. Now, when booking an appointment, outside of a provider's availability, let's say 6:30 to 7 o'clock, with our test patient John, in virtual, with any healthcare service, we immediately see a modal appearing that warns us that we're actually booking outside of this provider's availability. This is similar to the overbooking modal that you may have seen in the past. You can always override this and book the appointment anyway, in case you want to work additional hours or you're making up for lost time. Now, in the availability view, we can make as many different availabilities as we need. And similar to a healthcare service or a notification template, it has its own dedicated view in the sidebar that we'll review in just a minute. If I want to edit an availability, I can choose to edit this availability or edit all events. Now, you'll notice that something changes when I click between these two options. So to edit this event, I can edit the start time and end time of that single occurrence. So let's change that to 5 p.m. And you notice it now changes to 9 a.m. to 1700, which is 5 p.m. If I click on that again, change it to edit all events and hit continue, I get the full access to the actual event itself. So instead of having to change each individual day's events, I can edit the original template. When I'm ready to update it, I click on Update. So in this case, we're going to change it to a slightly different color. We'll go back to our booking view. You see it blends into that background. If I want to edit the single occurrence of an event, we've already sort of done that, where it's 1900 to 1700, and if we go to the next day, it's 1900 to 1800, which is 9 to 5 versus 9 to 6. But I can do more drastic edits as I need to by clicking on Edit this availability versus Edit all availabilities. Now, we don't allow you to update the entire thing each and every single day, and we recommend you create multiple availabilities. Time off has about the same functionality and options. The only difference is that you cannot select a healthcare service for time off. This is just so that you can't exclude healthcare services from your time off, because realistically it doesn't really affect the person who isn't working that day anyway. Lastly, well, two more things actually. Number one was that we chose virtual very deliberately. So if I go back to our week view and I see that our scheduled template or availability is visible, I can click on my locations at the top here, and let's say we go to Toronto office. It's still present because this is associated to the virtual location. So in case my Toronto office and my virtual have different availabilities, but I still want to know if I can move my patients or providers' appointments to those days, I can view them with ease. Lastly, click on the sidebar and navigate to My Organization, Service Templates. My bad. I actually meant to say Template Manager. The Schedule Template Manager is essentially the same view where I can edit and create new availabilities, but it's a slightly different user interface. They all have their own individual panels. This is where you can delete or update your availabilities.